Video is brought to you by BetUS, America's favorite sports book. If you use promo code Iceman, you will get 125% bonus, matching your initial deposit, and that 125% is all sports. The promotions currently on BetUS on their website are split between sports and casino. If you use code Iceman, you're going to get 125% sports, which is exactly what you want. That's what we do here. Only available in US, Canada, and Europe. Here we go. We got the big UFC pay-per-view going down this weekend. And we got some good picks for you guys. Not the greatest card to bet on. It's a good card of fights, but not the greatest gambling card. The last two were really good. If you guys watched our last video, we went 9 out of 10 for our full fight card picks. So 90%, not bad. And yeah, we're going to try to keep that streak going. This one, like I said, is a tougher card. The one actually on June 18th is actually a much better card for gambling. I'll probably have some ice picks on there for that card. But yeah, let's get to it. So our first matchup, we got Kang versus Adana. So Kang, he's got a pretty experienced guy. He's fought in the UFC, I believe, since like 2013. So he's been in there for about 9 years. He's lost to Ricardo Ramos, and he lost his last fight to Hani Yaya, who's not too bad. And he's taken on Dana 12-3. He's coming off a loss himself to Chris Gutierrez. And so he has 5 fights in the UFC, and he's got 3 wins, 2 losses. Not bad. Chris Gutierrez is pretty good. He's got a pretty good streak himself. This is going to be a difficult one to predict. I'm going to go with the over on this way. I'm going to go with the over. Next, this is actually a banger. Andre Fialo versus Jake Matthews. Andre Fialo, this guy's been super active, just wants to keep fighting, which I love. He's just, constantly asking the UFC, like, give me more fights, give me more fights. I believe he came to the UFC in the beginning of 2022, and he's already had 3 fights, and that's not even halfway through the year yet. And he's got another one now, so 4 fights already and 6 months in, so that's super impressive. His first fight, he did lose to Michel Pereira, which is, your first fight in the UFC, and you're fighting a tough guy like Pereira who just beat Santiago Ponzinibbio. Jake Matthews, he was a guy they were trying to build up from the Ultimate Fighter back in the day. He was a young kid when he was on the Ultimate Fighter. Now he's still young. He's only 27, but yeah, he's not as active as Andre Fialo. And his last fight, he lost to Sean Brady via arm triangle choke. Yeah, I'm gonna favor Andre Fialo on this one. I like that he's being super active. The thing is, I haven't really seen Andre Fialo's grappling too much, and can Jake Matthews exploit that? Not sure. This is going to be a tough one. Andre Fialo only minus 150 right now. On my other website, I checked, he was minus 160, which is interesting. That means they think Jake Matthews could possibly win this fight. Yeah, I'm going to give this the striking edge to Fialo, and then I think I'll give haven't seen Fialo's too much grappling, but that's going to be a close fight. I'm going to go with Fialo on that one. Next, we got Mahishat versus Steve Garcia. Now, this is going to be a banger. But the Mahi shot guy's really good. I seen him fight his last fight on the Contender Series, and he looked really good, man. And he's only 22 years old. Fighting Steve Garcia, who's coming off a win, but then before that, he lost a unanimous decision to Violent Bob Ross, Luis Pena. This is a interesting fight, though. I'm gonna go with the underdog on this one. I think he's a good bet. I like this Mahi shot guy in Singapore too. I'm gonna go with the underdog on this one. Haisar Mahi shot. Not bad. I was really impressed with his last fight, so I'm going with this kid. Next, we have Sung Woo Choi versus Josh Kliabao. So Sung Woo Choi, I remember watching him fight against Alex Caceres. Bruce Leroy, as many guys people know him as, and he got choked out in the second round by Bruce Leroy. But before that, he beat Yusuf Zalal and Julian Arosa. And he's taking on Josh Kliabao, whose only loss in the UFC is to Jalen Turner, 9-1. Pretty good record. Yeah, this is interesting. Very interesting on this one. This is a tough one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sung Woo Choi on this one. Don't be surprised that this one also does go over. But they're definitely counting out Josh on this one, and Josh is a tough dude. So don't count out Josh too much in this one. Next, we got Brendan Allen versus Jacob Malcoon. Brendan Allen was the guy who came in. He had some good hype behind him, and then sort of went downhill. I know he's got some pretty good wins. He beat Kevin Holland. He beat what's that other dude? Kyle Dawkins. Beat Tom Breeze. I remember he heel hooked Carl Roberson, but then he lost to Chris Curtis. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is going to be a good fight. But you got to go with the experience of Brendan Allen in this one. Should get it done for him. I know Jacob's a tough dude, but only 7 pro fights, but he did have a win over Abdul Razak Al Hassan, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Brendan Allen. I think Brendan Allen should get it done. Next, we got Jack Della Madalina versus Ramazan Emif. Interesting fight. Significant strikes landed per minute. This guy's 8.4. Jeez, that's super high. 8.4 strikes landed. That's higher than Yuri's. Jeez. Yeah, so this guy's on a pretty good win streak. This Jack 12 fight win streak he's on. Or 10 fight. Is it a 10 fight win streak? His only losses were his first 2 MMA fights, and then he's just been on a roll ever since. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jack. I'm gonna go with Jack Della Madalina. Hopefully, I pronounced that right. Next, we got Rogerio Bonterine versus Manel Cape, and Manel Cape's a guy that the UFC's been trying to pull for a while. And this other dude, Rogerio Bonterine, he's been fighting top guys in his division, but his last 4 fights, he's got one win, you know what I mean? And that was to Matt Schnell. He lost to Ray Borg. He got knocked out by Kai Kara France, and then he lost a split decision to Brandon Royval, which is pretty impressive. Brandon Royval's pretty impressive dude. This guy knocked out Uday Osborne and Zalgis Zamigolov, this Manel Cape. But then before that, he lost two decisions to Alexander Pantoja and Mateus Nicola. But they're expecting Manel Cape to just go in there and crush Rogerio Bonterine. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. I was going to take the over in this fight, but this Manel Cape guy does have a bunch of finishes. Yeah, I'm going to... I wouldn't bet on this one, but if I were to give my prediction, I'm staying away from this one, but, you know, I'm going to go with Manel on this one. Next, we have the main event of the evening. Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Prohaska. Now, I went back and watched a lot of their previous fights. Yuri, man, this guy's impressive, dude. Thing is, he's not fighting too many grapplers, you know what I mean? Like, he's fighting mostly strikers. But damn, this guy's got a lot of finishes. Yuri Prohaska hasn't lost since 2015, so that's pretty impressive. And Glover Teixeira, he's been on a streak quite of his own. His last loss was to Corey Anderson. He lost a unanimous decision, but totally different type of fighter. Corey Anderson is a strong wrestler, and Yuri Prohaska is a really good striker. A lot of people, including the odds makers, the best odds makers in the world, are counting Glover Teixeira out on this one. And so this is going to be surprising to most of you, but I'm going with my boy Glover Teixeira on this one. Glover Teixeira, I'll tell you why I think he's going to win. He's just his jiu-jitsu. He's got the wrestling, he's got the jiu-jitsu edge, and I think the way Yuri approaches is the way he comes into fights, he's super aggressive, a little reckless, and I think that just is going to play into Glover's hands. I mean, can Glover get knocked out? Absolutely. I mean, Yuri Prohaska's got that punching power, and he's definitely got the skills to put Glover Teixeira away. However, I just find Yuri Prohaska's striking, it just leaves a lot of vulnerabilities for a guy like Glover to take him down. I'm like, this is not Volkan Ozdemir or Dominic Reyes, where they're not strong grapplers like a Glover Teixeira. Like, if Glover gets you down, you're in big trouble. And I think Glover is really going to try and wrestle this fight. I don't see him trying to strike with Yuri Prohaska. I don't see that being a successful game plan for him. So I think the best way to win for Glover is just try to grapple Yuri Prohaska. If Glover does make it a grappling match, don't be surprised if it does go into the later rounds, even a decision. However, if Yuri wins, it's going to be a probably quick knockout in rounds 1 or 2. But yeah, I'm going against the best odds makers in the world, Vegas odds makers. They got Yuri Prohaska minus 200, which is a pretty significant favorite. And I'm going to go against them, and I'm taking the champ, Glover Teixeira. Also, these are not ice picks. This is a tough card to bet on. I got a few bets I'll post for you guys, but I'm not betting too big on this card. My underdog picks are Glover and Mahishot, so I'm going to go with both those guys. Also, this pay-per-view is not the greatest gambling card, so if you guys wait a week, the next UFC June 18th, that's a way better card to bet on, way easier fights to predict. So I'm going to go with Glover Teixeira.